guys, it's HMK
and DNA,
and we're gonna bring you the joint review of Pokemon White
and Black
2. Now, unfortunately, since we're playing both these games, I'm not gonna have much of any gameplay in this review, and it's gonna be a joint review between DNA and myself. Now, first of all, in a nutshell, what is Pokemon Black and White 2? Pokemon Black and White 2 basically take place 2 years after the original Black and White.
Well, you take place in a new city to the left because most of Unova's changed, and the regions changed, the wildlife's changed after the 2 years. New Pokemon have been introduced. So you start on the left side in Espiritu City as a new protagonist, meeting some old and familiar characters if you played the first 2 games. This game, in a nutshell, is like every other Pokemon game. They have twists and turns that are different, legendaries different, exclusives, all that jazz, but it's the same game over and over again, which is not a bad thing.
At its core, as DNA said, it's still a Pokemon game. In a nutshell, basically 2 years after the whole fall of Team Plasma, you play as a new protagonist who's looking to make his mark on the Pokemon world, I guess. You're giving a Pokedex by Bianca, who is from the last game, who gives it to an extension from Professor Juniper to go and fill it up. Now, the main difference between this and the predecessor, a lot of people were complaining about, is that in the predecessor Pokemon, the original Pokemon Black and White, was that you only were able to start off with Pokemon from the region. In this game, that drastically changed. You're able to catch Pokemon from every generation in the beginning and at any point of the game.
I've yet to see a Gen 4. I have yet to see a Gen 4.
I've yet to see a Gen 4, but I'm pretty sure they're there. And
maybe I haven't noticed it.
Right. And HMK's one of HMK's favorite Pokemon I was able to catch very early was Riolu. And we know the story behind that, right?
Yo, you're queer, dog. You're queer. This kid sits. Okay, me, Pinot Brawler, Darktoon Link, and him all get the game at the same time. So we're like, oh look, Riolu. We all want Riolu. So we're like, okay. I said I'm gonna grind in this area till I get my Riolu. I am not leaving. With a 5% chance to catch him, we were likely not to see it. So we're sitting there grinding and grinding. I'm the first one to find mine, catch mine, grind, leave. Then Peanut Brawler catches his, leaves. Darktoon Link gave up for a little bit, left to do something else, and then he finds his. He doesn't like its nature and says he's gonna grind for another one. Darktoon Link goes back, gets his, moves on, blah blah blah. He stays there and gets like 7 more.
What can I say? I need my nature. And another thing in this game, continuing like in every other Pokemon game since Ruby and Sapphire, and a little bit of Gold and Silver when you want to think about it, EVs and IVs are still within this game. Now, drifting a little away from the mechanics, what is the story right now of DNA? In a nutshell.
The story?
Yes.
Since I've gotten further, I'll tell it. Well, the story is that Team Plasma, as you said in the last game, fell. But the Team Plasma, while it was falling, split into 2 cords. People who follow the last villain gets this, and the people who follow the anti-hero / villain from the last game, N. N is trying to repent for his ways and try to help the Pokemon that they've taken, blah blah blah. When Getsis is trying to rule the world. So basically, you find out that N's still, trying to help Pokemon, so you help him here and there. But the point is to stop Team Plasma again.
I've really come to think that, back in the day when Pokemon Red and Blue came out, the story was like, be the best you can be. But no. It was.
Now, not anymore.
Not anymore. At this point, it's basically save the world. I think that's why I never really took interest in the Pokemon stories. In my opinion, Pokemon games are usually
they're not bad. Don't get it.
Alright, the story in this game isn't bad, but I always pay attention to the socialness, which is another great aspect of this game. This game also carries over all the social, what do you call it? All the social connections and opportunities from the last game, including the Coliseum, the internet, tournaments, modes, all that jazz is still within this game, and it's very good. Also, we have the Sea Gear, which was also
a functioning part of the last game. Sea Gear was your main hub for everything wireless and kind of extension from the game.
And since me and DNA have 3DSs, and since it's still a DS game, it acts as a very good Street Class replacement.
Yeah, this game should have, honestly, you can't say that it shouldn't have not come on the 3DS. They should have just left black and white on this and just made this to the 3DS, honestly, because it had the capability of doing that. They tweaked the graphics from the last one a little better, enough to be a 3DS game.
Right, as Nintendo, as the DS, the original DS's swan song, I think these games have like the best graphics I've seen on any DS console, because they're much more, not much more, but more advanced than the original black and white.
They like, for a game, a series that usually never had 3D models, this was the greatest example of a 3D modeled world. This, it had mistakes in the first version, but this game corrected it. The angles, everything, the depth the world gives. In different areas, you get to look over the world and see how beautiful and much it shines. The graphics and the depth they put into this, the time they did, it paid off.
Alright, now let's talk about a little bit about the gameplay. Battles, double battles, triple battles, rotating battles are all apparent. Another returning feature is the double grass.
They actually started, you know, they're like, hey, rotation battles in the first one, rotation and triple battles, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna have fun doing those against. Nope, you get like 3. This game, they push it on you. They finally push what they're trying to introduce in the game, which actually works. Last game they introduced it and they give you like 2 battles. You didn't care for it. You really didn't. This game, they actually give you a more. They put more thought into it, making you think, hey, if I'm going to do rotation battles, let's say I'm fighting Lucario against a Hippowdon, and then I have a Samurott next to me. I'm going to switch the Samurott to get the Hippowdon. Hopefully he doesn't switch. You put thought into it. It's not just, it's not just there.
Right. Now that covers the battle system. Now let's talk about a little thing that was introduced in Pokemon Black and White 2, the medal system.
That is their version of achievements, which I don't personally, they could have done better. The achievements there are like, you know, I did this, I did that. It's like things you either would do in the story or you just do in the game, period. So, I mean, the achievement system, it's great, but the achievements themselves are lackluster. I don't care for them. I get them, whatever.
Aside from achievements, we also have a key,
key, whatever thing, to unlock
special things within the game, including upped difficulty levels, which was never present in a Pokemon game before. Also special features where, you know, like other stuff. He's collected more keys than me, so
they got like 2. I mean, I don't have any money. But basically, the only thing you would use the key for basically is unlocking either challenge mode or easy mode, which I'm looking forward to doing challenge mode after I beat this game, because each gym and each Elite Four member either gets another Pokemon, and the levels are raised, so it gives a more aesthetic, more than just aesthetic, you know, changes. It gives more of a challenge, as the name says, instead of just like, oh, I know what to grind here, I know what to grind here, because I'm going to use super effective, blah, blah, blah. It gives more depth into it.
Now, the World Tournament that was also introduced in this game is a very good addition. It not only allows you to train, you know, put more thought into battling, and you also get to see some familiar places that span multiple Pokemon games.
You get to kick Red's ass with the gem, if you're good. I mean, you know, some kid might be like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy Red," and then get slapped.
I didn't take a full list. I didn't take a look at the full list. Is Gold in that? Is Gold the only Red?
Red's the only memorable one, because I mean, he's the only one who had factual Pokemon that everyone remembered what he had. Every other one, they're like, people are like, "Oh no, he had this, he had that." No, pretty sure he had this. Everyone knew what Red's Pokemon was. It is a fact.
There's some bullshit.
It is a fact.
That shit's a conspiracy.
Fact.
Conspiracy.
Fact. Fact.
Anyways, so basically, what we're trying to say is that this is an excellent Pokemon game, and it remedies most of the so-called mistakes that Black and White introduced.
They still have problems. Like, see, now I'm further in the game, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to these things that they have now, hidden grottos. They give you the ability to get Pokemon with hidden abilities instead of like working and wasting your time for Dream World not to get the Pokemon you don't want. So they give you the ability to get Pokemon that are good and that you want, so you can breed and get those abilities. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get 9 Vulpix with Drought, so I can have like a Drought team, blah blah blah. No. I was gonna work with it before I did the Elite Four. No, I have to wait to get Waterfall and go back to get a level 35 and then grind it. Yeah. See, this game has, no game's perfect. It has problems, but it remedies the main problems that it had.
So, would you say this is worth our hard-earned cash?
Me buying the last one, I regret spending maybe $5 on it, but it's worth most of your money. It's not worth every single penny they price it at. It is.
Yeah, and with sites such as IGN and Game Informer,
like spamming, oh, it's amazing because it's a Pokemon game.
Right, but like the thing about this is that we are actual gamers.
We know what you want and what you don't like. So I mean, think about it. Would you just buy a rehash of a game with fixes? That's basically just patches. You're buying patches.
So
UMVC.
Alright. In closing, HMK gives White 2 a 8 out of 10.
DNA gives Black 2 an 8.5 out of 10. I personally like Pokemon that much, so I'm gonna give it a little bump.
Alright, so for a combined score, we give a combined score of Pokemon Black and White 2 a final score of 8.25 out of 10, which is
really
still
good.
a very good game, but it could have been more, nothing in my book.
They didn't rush it, but I mean, they took their time not to do anything.
I felt... That's very good.
They took their time not to do anything.
Very good. That's a very good way to put it. In my book, nothing beats gold. Come on, you cannot beat the fact, oh, I get to go back to Kanto. What the shit? 16 badges?
Or I could play Ruby and Sapphire that introduced our battling system today that's still used.
Or I can
I'm not gonna play Gold and Silver and say I can use Earthquake or Surf to win.
Or I can play Pokemon before it became bullshit.
Oh, you mean, I just spam Earthquake and Surf to win and the occasional slide to dodge a move? That was the battle system. That was great.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? So this is it for Pokemon Black and White 2 review. So I've been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.
So.